Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to episode 24 of the Bright Horizons podcast. We are so freaking back, you don't even understand. Today was a great flipping day. I am so happy. I have not been this happy in a minute, especially considering that the last episode was literally about slumps. You want to know the funniest thing about that?
You got out of your slump? Is that what you're about to say?
Yippee! No, okay. What I was actually going to say is the episode where we talked about being in a slump, that was probably one of our worst Well, it only has like 25 views right now, but like all our other videos have done relatively better. Funny enough, the video about the slump
Is the slump.
The irony in
always.
that.
Yeah.
But anyways, biggest thing is, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. Today we're going to be talking about three things, as always. Today we're going to be talking about why you shouldn't overcomplicate life, because it's pretty simple, really. Next, we're going to talk about how to live in the moment and be mindful. And third, I'm going to keep it a mystery. So just hang tight. But in the meantime, let's get to it. Why am I feeling so good? I finally broke the slump in the best way possible. Now, last episode, I said that part of breaking the slump was recording last week's episode. This week, we are officially out of the slump. We are back in golden, I don't even know what you call it, just a golden state of mind, really, because everything worked out really well. And I realized that life is not so bad when you just start to be happy about things and you just let the vibes be right. Because today, I was coming back from school. Even today when I was going to school, there was an accident on the bridge, so it took forever to get to school, and I was almost late for my class. But on the way to school, when I got there, or on my way to my class, I ran into somebody who I haven't seen in a year, and I chopped it up with him for a minute before I went to class. And then I went to class. It was all right. It was pretty chill. Then I went, did some other work, had like a very busy day at school. So by most means, I would have said like in the slump period, I would have really hated today. But now that I'm out of it, I'm like, yeah, I got all that done. And on the way home, you don't even understand, bro. The music was just slapping. The music was so good. I was listening to just everything that hit the vibes right. Whether it was old radio music, few rap songs, I don't know, some house music. It was chef's kiss. I enjoyed the whole drive. It was scenic. The sun was out. Oh, I couldn't have asked for more. It was just a beautiful day. And the truth is, I've been having those beautiful days even during the slump. I just didn't appreciate it because I was too busy thinking, man, I'm in this slump. But we're officially out of it, ladies and gentlemen. How we feeling?
I mean, I'm feeling pretty good. I'm excited for today's episode, obviously, as always, to talk about some great things. My past week. What have I done this past week? I've worked on my business and such, made some progress in my life, and I've also had a lot of reflection for my future, personally, some of my future plans. I think that's a very important thing for all of you out there, is if you're unsure of where to go next, do some self-reflection. It's very helpful, very valuable, and very impactful on your life to take a second to relax and really think about what's going on in your life. And I feel like it's a perfect segue into our topic of not letting things get too complicated. I'm really glad that you picked this topic because, especially right now in time, for all of you out there going through school right now, and I'd say specifically to people my age, we're all going to university now. Or you're going somewhere to a new environment. And I think that people are going to overcomplicate this a lot. Mm-hmm. And I'd say that you could probably speak from experience, being somebody that has gone to university now, that within that transition frame, we really get lost. And you'll be stressed over things you don't really need to be stressed for. And you feel as if everything's kind of like out of your control. All these things are happening, and you feel like there's so much you need to do. But really, there isn't. A lot of life is sitting, okay, well, I don't want to say that, but a lot of things can come by sitting and waiting. Patience is a very important aspect in life. And, good things come with time. That's what they say. And I believe that if you are patient with how life treats you, then it will treat you well. Mm-hmm. So take your time when going through these things. These big changes, these are huge changes, right? But everybody's trying to rush it, There's like, man, there's 10 days left of school. I just want to get out of here. And I'm like, I don't know if you really do, because first off, everybody says, oh, high school is like, it sucked. I didn't like going to my classes, whatever, this, that. But you're definitely going to miss it when it's gone. Not saying that the life ahead's going to be worse, because that's what people seem to always imply when they say that, oh, you're gonna wish you were still in high school. But so much that it's going to be different. And you need to embrace that change and take it slowly to still, drink in the flowers while it's still here.
Isn't it Smell the flowers while they're
Smell
still
the
here?
flowers, yeah.
Yeah, drink
know?
the flowers. What are you yapping about,
You
bro?
could drink flowers should you desire. Don't let other people
Tea.
stop you.
Technically, tea is just drinking. Well, I guess that's leaf juice, but like,
Iro reference.
Iro reference.
Yeah.
Anyways, one thing I was gonna say is that's so true. Is that so many people take high school for granted? I think that there's definitely things about high school that suck, no doubt, but the experience of just being with your friends all the time, sitting in cafeteria, making jokes, showing up to school, and just having a blast with all these people. It's still fun in university if you make it fun, but it's not as fun as in high school, because in high school you can goof around the whole time and still be fine if you're not like running on 2 brain cells.
Yeah.
If as long as you put in an okay effort, you'll be fine in high school. But now that's not to say don't try. Okay, don't sit here and take my advice as don't try in school. Always try in school, because the way you do something is the way you do everything. So make sure you put in the effort for every single thing you do in life, because what's the point of doing it if you're not going to do it right? Okay, but my point is enjoy it while it's there too. And like you were saying, people overcomplicate things. Things change. Life is so dynamic, but we often get swept up in changes because we're too used to being static. And like even for me, the life caught me at bad times when I wasn't ready to make a change yet. But once I come out of that situation, I realize I really did need to change. Like, for example, the slump showed me some things that I have been neglecting in my life that I need to focus on. And that's the beauty of bad times, really. They just show you what you got to work on and make your life better. So that's one thing. And the second thing is overcomplicating things has become almost a way of human life. Humans believe that it sounds a bit egotistical to say it, but humans believe that we're gods. We believe we can control everything because we've taken this planet and even space, explored it. Deep sea, like not as much as space, but we've explored a lot of these things we previously thought were impossible, and we've done the impossible at every turn. So then when we're faced with something where we have absolutely no control, we don't understand how to deal with it. That's something that I had to learn the hard way too, because I find myself getting upset about things sometimes too. And in those situations, there are many moments where I realize, damn, this has literally nothing to do with me. I have no control over this. For example, sometimes people will look outside, the weather sucks, and all of a sudden their day is ruined. Why? Like, I get that, okay, it's rainy, it's gloomy, like you don't want to be happy because of that, or rather you want to be happy, but it's more difficult because the sun isn't there. But there's still an element of peace to rain. Why do you think so many people listen to rain noises when they're sleeping? Because it's peaceful, it's relaxing. And you can't tell me that as a kid, we all dream about those moments of playing Minecraft when it's raining outside. It's late at night. You just hear the pitter-patter of rain on the window. You play with your buddies, and you just go through the entire night just having deep conversations while playing Minecraft. You're telling me that you're willing to throw that experience away because you don't like the rain? No. The truth is, it's just the circumstances changed. So if you just shift the perspective of, hey, rain has its own beauty, you're not going to have a problem when it does rain.
Yeah, and I like the idea of why am I stressing over things that have nothing to do with me? And I'd say, and it was something I wrote down here. This is something that I told myself is, don't become so involved in other people's matters to the point where you become uninvolved in your own.
Damn.
Because a lot of the time, and okay, I'm not throwing shots here, not at all, but a couple of people at school asked me to discuss the Drake and Kendrick Lamar beef.
Dude, that's crazy. People at my school were telling me that too.
And they were like, yo, man, you got to talk about this. And I'm not throwing shade to any of them because I understand, you're helping me because you talk about a controversy, it blows up your channel, whatever. But I kept saying, yeah, man, maybe next episode. And, I think we're way past when we should have talked about it at the height of it. But my point here is not to talk about the controversy because really it doesn't matter all that much to me. Like, I understand if you're full in on rap culture, so it's, it's a big event or whatever that you want to be a part of, but a lot of us become so obsessed with these celebrities' lives that you don't take action on your own. Like, I guarantee you that most of these celebrities that are super famous and super successful weren't watching everybody else go crazy and, all the controversy they were in instead without making any movements on theirs. It's important to study the people ahead of you, right? To study the people that have walked your path, but don't just stand there in awe and be like, damn, that's crazy. instead start jotting some notes, right? If I sit here and I'm just, worrying about oh man, what's that guy doing? What's that guy doing? What's that guy doing? I'm not going to be getting anything done, right? Unless I'm writing down, oh, maybe I could do this. Maybe I could do that. But instead, we don't take the time to do that. A lot of us just take the time to listen to everybody else's problems, but not think about our own. And that's when your life really gets complicated. Because now you're so involved in all these things that when stuff starts to go wrong in your life, you have no idea why. That's where the most complex things occur, is when you don't know the solution. Actually, I say the most complex thing is when you don't know the problem.
Yeah.
You ever sit down on like a math test and you read a question and you're like, what in the hell is this question asking me to do?
What is
that? Is the worst thing.
Yep.
If you know what the question's asking, you can try to find an answer. And if you don't, yeah, it's going to sting, it's going to suck, but you're like, at least I understood the question. But when you sit down and you open that booklet and you look at that first question, you're like, I'm cooked. Like, I do not know what is going on, right? That is the worst feeling because you don't even know where to start.
Mm-hmm.
So in your life, if you are so fixated on all these other problems, you're going to hit a wall someday in your life. You're going to hit some rain. A storm is going to fall upon you, and you are going to sit there and be like, where did everything go wrong? And I'm going to be here, and I'm going to say, my guy, you should have been looking in the mirror, right? Because you can find every problem with yourself right there. It's a perfect reflection of yourself. So if you become over-involved in everybody else's, you are going to be hit with a storm when you're not prepared. So look for your problems because that's the only way that you can solve them.
That's so facts. You know, the crazy thing is there's two things I want to talk about here. The first one is my own personal experience. When I'm driving, sometimes it won't involve me. I'll be driving fine, and somebody behind me will do something stupid. And I'm very aware of my surroundings because I've always been kind of an overthinker. Like, my brain just works very, very far in advance. It's always thinking about, like, every little thing. Like, if I'm driving and I see a kid, like, 20 blocks down, I'll wonder if he's going to jump in the middle of the road. Like, I'm not stressing about it, but I'm just prepared if it happens. So that's one thing that's made me a good driver. But the problem with that is when I'm driving past something and something happens behind me, I see it in either the rear view or my side mirrors. And then I'm looking, what's going on? And I'm not looking at what's in front of me. That's when I'm most likely to crash. And like I mentioned on one of my previous episodes, our previous episodes, I was driving past two Lamborghini Aventadors parked next to each other one time, and I looked out the window for a second, and I almost rear-ended the person in front of me because I wasn't paying attention. So when you get distracted and caught up in things that aren't in your own path, that's when you tend to run into something and not be prepared for it. The second thing I wanted to talk about is one of the most revolutionary things that will help us kill scrolling. The thing is, it's created by Instagram. Instagram is introducing unskippable ads on Reels. So when you scroll down, you're going to get stuck and have to watch a 10-second ad. You can't do anything. And I heard about it on a podcast. The guy was like, dude, this is going to help me combat my phone addiction because the second I get an unskippable ad on Instagram Reels, I'll realize how cooked I am and close the app immediately.
Yeah.
So be ready for this because if you have a real addiction, wow, that's such an interesting sentence, a real addiction, you're going to get over it by being frustrated about corporate greed.
You know what? Honestly, I'm so glad about that.
Me too.
I think that it's because I recently deleted Instagram because I was really having an issue with it. And you know what I tell people is if you're really struggling with an addiction, if you really want to, like, for example, I talk to a lot of people through Instagram. That's like my main messaging platform. So what I did was I started using the web browser version, and you cannot scroll on that thing if you tried. It is impossible. On your phone, like, you'll scroll and like it opens a different page. Like, it is brutal. You cannot use it. So I can only use it. I can barely use it to check messages because in like your chat, like regularly on Instagram, if you like swipe up and down, it's smooth. With this, if you swipe up, it like fully moves up like one page's worth of text. You get what I mean?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, it's not like a smooth scrolling, like it's one continuous page. It's like they're broken up.
Oh, into like chunks. So you swipe it and it's like a page flipping.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So it is a pain to read, especially if you have a lot of messages.
Yeah.
And scrolling is just even worse. Like I remember I caught myself because I went on it and then I clicked the home button and I was like, yo, what am I doing here? Yeah. But then it didn't even open. So I was like, okay, you know what? It's okay. So I closed it. And I'd suggest that if you guys really want to break these bad habits, you need to do it by making the habits hard to do. Which is why I wish we had it up here, I guess.
No!
I know, it's tragic. I don't think we have the book here right now, do we?
I just got it back.
Oh, that's
it's okay.
so
We'll put it up
sad.
next week. No, don't say it. We'll put it up next week.
Well, yes. I guess we'll talk about it then next week
next
as well.
week.
But, oh, wait, no.
You can't say anything about that either. We got a lot of things cooking, guys. You guys
A couple
gonna have
of
to be
special
patient.
surprises coming up.
Be patient.
But indeed, habits can be broken by making habits less attractive. Like, the reason, I'd say if you really want to take it back, it's kind of like God and the devil, right? What does the devil do? He tempts you. He gives you these temptations. So they feel good to do. So if you make something that's bad, not good to do, or not satisfying, then why would you really do it? We always do these bad things because they feel satisfying to do. And it's so funny because I remember I was sitting in my English class once and this guy next to me, super smart guy, he asked me the question and he was like telling me, he was thinking about it one day, about how us humans have millions upon millions of years. Okay, actually, wait, no, not millions. Thousands upon thousands of years of experience that have taught us how to live our lives, that have taught us what's good and what's bad, what's right and what's wrong. Yet we always still make the same mistakes. We all know that it's going to be bad for us, but we choose to not do it. And he wondered why. And obviously, at first, we all think we know the answer. But if you really think about it, if you know it's going to end up bad for you, why do you do it? It seems to make no sense. Logically, if you know it's going to have a negative outcome, why do we do it? And it leads back to temporary pleasure. So it's nearsightedness. It's the inability to see far into the future.
One of our future topics has to be talking about the balance of like pleasure and purpose, because I found such a good quote for this, and I'm definitely going to use it for that episode for Quote of the Week. But I also have to say this before we move on to one of our next topics, that if you want to fix your phone addiction, if you have an Instagram addiction, I can help you. And in terms of TikTok, I hope that they have TikTok accounts as well. But check out this account called Brain Nourishment on Instagram, where essentially if you're scrolling, like they'll just start with like a regular reel, like one of those brain rot things that have no meaning. And by the end of it, you will not become a better person. But then it'll cut to something beautiful. It just has like a clip of like Minecraft, of like a sunset or something. And it says, go out there and make the most of your life. You only have a certain amount of time, or something like that. Okay, that's the first account. Second account is By Maximize. This guy is a genius, honestly, a creative genius. And I aspire to be like him because his editing skills are phenomenal. He makes great content, and I want to learn from him and just make myself that much better. But one thing he did recently was he had a case on his phone, and it's all green because that's his like account theme. Like it's his logo is green, and it's just a green screen and like a little white star on it. Okay, and on his phone case it said "Weapon of Mass Destruction," and had the little white star logo on it. People were like, "Man, when are you gonna make that a phone case and sell it to people?" He was like, "Don't worry, I got it cooking up." He made it and he released a pre-sale. That thing sold out so fast. But you know why it sold out? Why? Not just because the phone case says Weapon of Mass Destruction on it, because the packaging for it was so genius. He designed the box for the phone case as a Marlboro cigarette box. But instead of saying Marlboro, it says By Maximize. Then at the part where it says smoking kills, it says scrolling kills, and it says stop scrolling. So it's literally designed as a cigarette box. So you know, dude, I'm killing myself.
Yeah.
That's what it takes. Now, granted, how often do cigarette boxes stop people from smoking cigarettes? Not often. But I think that it's a very cool idea. And realistically, like you said, make it hard to do bad habits, and you'll stop doing them. So that's the biggest thing. Just get it together, man. Get it together. Yeah. Stop with this brain rot, Instagram scrolling, and just ruining your attention span. Life is so beautiful. You know, I would not have enjoyed today if I was consistently on Instagram. Because for the past week, I've been off it for most of my time because I've been pretty busy with a lot of things. So I haven't had time to scroll. And I think that that's the most important thing. Keep busy.
Yeah, you know what's crazy is since I took Instagram out of my life, I had to find, like, I found myself, like, I would pick my phone up and I'd be like, all right. And then I, like, swipe open. And then, oh, shocker, I get a notification the second that happens. But pick up my phone and then I swipe to, like, the screen that has Instagram. And my thumb goes over where the app is. And I'm like,
it's not there.
Oh, it's not there. And then I'll put my phone down and I'll walk away. And I was really happy about this because one thing that I started doing again is I started playing hockey in our garage, and I found like before I was like, man, I do not have the time for this, and then I stopped scrolling, and I was just like, I came home from school, I ate, I played a little bit of Brawl Stars, and then I was like, damn, it's like 4:00. Usually I feel like it'll be 7 by now, and then I'm like, damn, I have a lot of time. So I went and I played hockey for like 2 hours, and it was so fun. I enjoyed it. I had time of my life. I went and I played the drums after too, and I was like, damn, I just found an extra like 4 hours each day. And that's not even just the scrolling, but I feel like the scrolling is like a connection. You know, like I'll be playing Brawl Stars, and then I'll scroll, and then I'll go watch like a YouTube video. And then I'll scroll, and then I'll go play Brawl Stars. But I don't feel like switching between Brawl Stars and a YouTube video.
It's just like an infinite cycle. It's a kind of like an oh my God, it's an intermediate. It's like a chemical reaction. You know how like you start with your reagents, and you go to some like middle product, and then you go to the end product. You don't just go straight to the end. That's not how it works. So for you, it's like, oh, scrolling, or Brawl Stars, scrolling YouTube, Brawl Stars, scrolling YouTube. And it's just an infinite cycle of time wasting.
Exactly.
So when you eliminate these distractions, your life gets so much better.
Exactly. And it becomes so much clearer that, dude, you got so much time in a day. There is so much time, and you don't want to let it go. Like, think about how fast time flies when you're not paying attention. And it's actually a quote from The Life of Pi. And
GOAT movie, by the way.
they say, the whole of life becomes an act of letting go. But what hurts the most is not taking the time to say goodbye. Always in your life, what do? You make a moment, and then it goes, right? You don't, unfortunately, sad thing is, you don't get to hold on to moments, right? Like, it's from a Prince A video, and he panned out to the sky, and he's like, you see that as a shooting star flew by. He's like, there, that's a moment. In your life, these moments are just going to keep going. They don't stop. You can try to remember them, but you can't relive it, right? So you need to hold on to it while you can, while you're still in the moment. But if you let go of all this time, all these moments that could have been made, you're not really saying goodbye to anything. You're saying goodbye to a waste of time. And in the end, you're going to regret that a hell of a lot more than anything else. So time is the one thing I'd say is working against you, and it's the one thing you should never waste in your life.
That's so valid. Speaking of time and not wasting it, let's wrap up overcomplicating life. I want to say that there is a movie, and I'm sure you've seen the clip, that summed this idea of not overcomplicating life very well. The movie is called To Bleed It? Wait, no. It's called Bleed For It. That's what it is. Have you ever heard of it?
No.
Okay. Bleed For It is a movie about a boxer who is winning fights but then gets involved in an almost fatal car crash and breaks his spine. And he's told he'll never walk again. But despite all the odds, he learns how to walk, and he gets back into boxing, and he wins a fight. It's a highlight of his career. The best part is this is based on a true story.
Really?
Guy broke his spine, and he's a International Sports Hall of Famer.
Damn.
Vinny Paz, I think that's his name. As a boxer, he was incredible. But in the movie, there's one scene where a reporter asks Vinny the question, "What was the biggest lie you were ever told?" Vinny takes a second and he says, "It's not that simple." She says, "Why?" He says, "No, it's not that simple. That's the biggest lie I was always told." And she said, "Well, then what's the truth?" And he said that it is that simple. Once you do what everybody says you can't, it's done. And then your life just gets better. You're going to face a lot of people telling you can't. You're going to see a lot of obstacles that push you back from where you want to go. But if you keep looking for reasons why you can't do it, you never will. So instead of overcomplicating it and seeing all the walls you'll have to hop over, why don't you look at the damn pogo stick in your hand and start jumping? Yeah. That's the point. Just look for ways to get over them, because you know that if that's what you want to do, you'll find a way out of it. So don't overcomplicate it.
You know what's funny is I actually saw this quote, and I would rephrase it, because the quote word by word is that death is the only failure, everything else is a setback. And I don't consider death to be a failure. I consider death to be an end, right? So when you have a dream, the only end of that dream, truthfully, is death. The only time that a dream dies for sure is when you pass away with it, right? So, it's like the Denzel Washington speech.
Yeah, that's
at,
crazy.
I think it's University of Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
Yeah, where he talks about how when you die, you're surrounded by the ghosts of, your dreams and goals and
Unfulfilled.
unfulfilled aspirations. So I'd say that when you hit these walls, understand that they aren't killers. They're just obstacles, right? They're just setbacks, not ultimate failure.
That's probably the most perfect way you could have put it.
Yeah.
And now we move on to mindfulness and why it's important to live in the moment. Because like we were talking about earlier, so many people have a phone addiction. You're consistently looking at this screen, finding ways to escape reality, which is the saddest part.
Yeah.
We find a way to escape something that is so beautiful. We have so much around us and we take it for granted every single day. And like we always say, perspective is the most important thing to have in life. When you look at what other people have been given, you really start to be grateful for what you have. So instead of consistently looking at what the next big thing is on Instagram or the Drake and Kendrick beef or all these random things that don't matter, put the damn phone down and look outside. Like, it's funny because we used to make fun of people who used touch grass as an insult because it just meant they were bad at video games.
Yeah.
But what if the truth is they were better at life? They were out there doing things much more interesting than sitting inside and playing games all day and being hooked up to a reality that doesn't exist. You're sitting there wasting your time all day. And I'll never forget it because I remember looking back at one of the games we played the most, Overwatch, looking at all the hours I racked up on this game, all the seasons where we finished top 500, all the different things that we did I definitely finished top 500 for you helped us get to open queue.
Yeah.
B, I got it for a couple of limited time modes. But whatever.
Yeah.
We won't count that. We'll count the open queue one though.
Yeah.
Either way, point is we were major gamers before
Not
we
gonna lie,
started.
that was kind of a high of my life.
100%. That was
Seeing
crazy.
Top 500.
That was crazy. Top 500 in North America. But you go through chapters in life, and at the time, I thought this was the best thing ever. But then I remember seeing a video that said, just like how you max out all these video game characters, what are you doing to max out your real one? And I sat there and I looked at the thousands of hours we put on this game and just thought, where the hell are the thousands of hours I put on my life? Imagine if we had stats for how many times you went to the gym, how many times you curled the dumbbell, how many reps you put in, how many hours you spent in the gym. If you did that, God, I'd be up there already feeling much better than I do now, or that I did before. That's what I meant. When you start investing your time into things that matter and living in the moment, that's when life gets so much better. Because the best way to think about it is, what's real? The video game world is not real. This tangible world that we have around us is. You know what else isn't real? The past and the future. The only thing that is now, the present. We spend so much of our time regretting the past and worrying about the future that we don't enjoy the present. You got to remember that life is not something that you simply remember when it's over. Life is something you experience while you do it. You're here to live, not just to exist. So go out there and make your life an enjoyable experience that you can look back on and be happy about. What the hell is the point of being here and just floating, drifting, aimlessly, day to day? There is no point. Every day shows new challenges, new opportunities to enjoy your life. So go out there and do that, because one day you're going to be able to tell this story to other people, and you're going to be able to tell it to yourself when you're gone.
Yeah.
Have that story to be able to remember and read and enjoy.
You know what's funny is actually this event that happened to me it was yesterday, and I was sitting in class, and I get a text from Eric, who's on the podcast, and he and I don't text all that often. So he said, "Yo, want to know why today is the best day?" And I said, "Why?" And he's like, "'Cause you are in the one day in your life that's real. Yesterday, that's a memory, a thought. Tomorrow doesn't exist. It's an idea." And I said, "Reality only exists right now." And he said, "Now drink water and make your one day on earth worth it." And he also told us to work like you have no money and live like it's your last day. And I love that because It really is. If you really think about it, today is your only day right now. It's your only day. Because tomorrow doesn't exist. Yesterday doesn't exist. So you have one day. Are you going to make it or break it? And I think that in these 1 days, it's going to be tough. It's going to suck. It's going to hurt. But at the end of every day, if you could find a way to smile, wouldn't you try? Think about when you're laying on your deathbed. Are you going to want to die with a frown on your face? So why do you sleep with one? If you won't frown on your deathbed, why do it on your everyday bed?
Damn.
Yo, I kind of cook with
Yo,
that.
he's cooking.
I got to take a break.
Yo.
I got to take a break to
Oh my God.
appreciate
That was hard.
that quote. But I stand by that. I think that you should always go to bed with a smile on your face.
100.
Because not only could it be your last day? We like to play in the realm that, maybe you don't wake up. But let's be honest, that reality is very slim. So to most people, it doesn't feel like anything. It's like if I said, hey, keep buying lottery tickets, you might hit the jackpot. You'd probably be like, dude, logically, in a million years, I'm not hitting the jackpot.
I'm looking at you, Albert.
Yeah.
Big
the big bird.
The big bird.
But this whole idea of, maybe it'll happen, then you don't really care as much. So the same way, there's a high chance that laying in your, soft, comfortable bed, you're not going to die tomorrow. But this day is ending, right? This little chapter that exists right now is ending. Why are you ending it on a sad note? End every day with a happy note. Go to bed every day with a smile. Because at the end of the road, you're going to want to be able to realize that, hey, I was able to smile at the end of every day. Because that's what really matters. What really matters is the end. Because if you didn't end up where you wanted to be, then what was really the point? And I think that everybody wants to be happy. That's why we do the things that we do, is to be happy, to be fulfilled. So at the end of every day, make sure that you smile.
And the biggest thing is, if you want to look at an analogy, think about a house. Let's say back in the 1800s or so, houses were built with bricks. A house is not structurally stable because of its entire structure. It's the perfect layering of each brick. Brick by brick, you build this perfect house. Just like how if you want to live a happy life, you got to live it one day at a time. You got to live a happy day after a happy day. Sleep every night with a smile on your face. Wake up every morning with a smile on your face. Because, like you said, this one window of a day is all you're going to experience right now. That's all that matters. Right now is the most important time, because the more you think about things that don't exist, the more you take away from what does. So the biggest takeaway is put the damn phone down and focus on the moment. Because one thing that I was thinking about, all those moments where you go downstairs because you're like, I need to go get something. And you walk downstairs and then you forget why you came downstairs. 9 times out of 10, you were either on your phone or you had just been on your phone. So your mind is somewhere else. It's not thinking about what you were just thinking about. Have you ever thought why we have so many ingenious ideas in the shower? Because that's the 10 minutes out of our day where we're not stimulating our brain with some distraction. You're underwater, so you're just sitting there with your own thoughts. Maybe the reason why you don't have genius thoughts until you're in the shower is because you don't give your brain time to think. You're consistently crowding it with garbage. So put it away and see how your brain can flourish and how many ideas it will come up with, how many avenues you can explore. Yeah. There's so much to do when you just get rid of this thing. And I want to delete Instagram so damn bad. But obviously I run the Instagram account for this podcast, but I could re-download it every single day if I had to. But for me, it's just because I'm in school, and unfortunately I have these stupid group projects that I have to do.
Hey, web version.
That could actually work. You know what? Maybe I'll give it a shot. Maybe I'll try.
It's worth it, because I think I always go onto Instagram with the intention of checking a message, and I always end up scrolling. Mm-hmm. So to truly make it impossible for you to do it is very important.
Yeah.
And yes, every single one of you out there, please, please, please escape the doom scrolling. Mm-hmm. It is not worth it to waste your life doing those things. And it's really sad, because I know that you've seen the videos because you're always talking about them, of that one guy where he's showing the thing of like, you spend this much time of your life doing this much time of your life doing this much time of your life doing this. And they said that the average teen is expected to spend the next or I don't know.
I think it's like 15 years of your life.
Yeah, on a phone.
Yeah.
And that I saw that and I was just like, bro, what am I doing? It's just not worth it. It's really not. You have one chance at this life. You have the one chance at this thing called life. Do you really want to throw it away because you're looking at a phone? And I actually have the quote right here is, we only live once, but if we do it right, once is enough. Everything is enough if you do it right. So fulfill this life because it's the only chance you might get. I think there's two schools of thought here. Is like one group of people believe that, in the end I'm going to die anyway, so why does it matter? Right? If in the end I have the same outcome as somebody else, who cares? But the other group of people believes because there's an end, I must make it beautiful. Right? I must enjoy it while it lasts because it will end. It's what Vision said. He said that a thing isn't beautiful because it lasts. So your life is beautiful because it has an end. If not, eternal life isn't all that beautiful because you'll get every next day.
And it's meaningless.
Exactly.
It's the fact that it's not going to be here forever that gives it value. And you know somebody who exemplified that perfectly? Ricky Gervais. I don't know if you know who that is.
Yeah,
He's
obviously.
yeah, okay. The GOAT. This guy in that one movie, he's like at a diner or something, and the woman's like, if I'm going to die anyways, why does life even matter? And he says, if you sit down to watch a movie, and then halfway through you realize it's going to end, do you just stop watching the movie? No, you finish the movie. Why? Because it was beautiful to watch the movie, and it was an experience. That's the point of your life. It's not to think about, oh man, I'm going to die one day. It's to think, man, I'm going to die one day. I want to do everything. I want to enjoy every day. I want to enjoy it like it's my last, because realistically, you're going to have memories of days, but you're not going to be able to recall a day of your life perfectly. From start to finish, you will not be able to tell me one day where you did this for this many minutes every single day. Your memory is already fragmented. So the best thing you can do is, instead of leaving it up to your brain to try and remember it later, give it to your senses now to focus on it and enjoy the experience while you're in it. And realistically, if you fill every day with happiness, when you look back, all you're going to see is a big stretch of green in your life. Just a big patch of happiness and positivity. And realistically, that's what we're here to do, right? We're here to spread that message.
Exactly. And it all stems from mindfulness, from being focused, and also being aware. Because the truth is, nobody is 100% focused. And this is something that's preached in Buddhism a lot, is that mindfulness is not holding your mind in one place, but recognizing that it goes somewhere else. Because truth is, you will try your best. And that's why I'd urge everybody to try meditation. I've done it for a lot of my life, but I feel like I should continue it now because it's very important to get that clear level-headedness. But the principle of it is focus on your mind. And I remember one of my teachers saying this. And he did this activity with us once where we were sitting in a Zoom call. And he's like, everybody, you can mute your mics if you want. It's okay. Because this activity is not like for class so much as it is just for you. And he told us to meditate. But he said, every time you had a thought about something, just say it out loud. And we did this thing, and we just sat there for like 5 to 10 minutes. I don't remember exactly. And we just said the things that came to our minds. And I really thought about it. I was like, damn, I thought about a lot of random things during that time period. And it's funny because I know that it felt different, though. Because as I thought about what I was thinking, it's kind of like thoughtception, but I was thinking about my thoughts. And that helped me stay clear to what I was thinking. Or like the idea of meditation, that clear-headedness. It wasn't so much that I didn't have any other thoughts, because emptying your mind is impossible. We have these, like, the mind is such a complex structure. It's going to keep thinking. It basically never stops. So to think that you will just have instant control of your mind of, no thoughts, clear-mindedness, it's not real. But when you start to think, damn, okay, what am I thinking about right now? I'm thinking about Tokyo. I'm thinking about Paris. I'm thinking about school. I'm thinking about my calculus test next week. Instead of that, understand that, my mind is going all these places. Why is that? Because your mind will go to a place for a reason. And If you track that reason, then you could probably find a deeper meaning behind it, because your mind doesn't ever think things for no reason. But that's what I think social media has done, and this scrolling business, is that it's made your mind full of such useless garbage that your thoughts don't have meaning anymore. Because before, our thoughts were so concrete about actual things. I remember that when I used to think about, like, for example, now I'll think about a reel I saw before I think about playing outside with my friends, right? It's just a different set of things taking place, but one just has no meaning. So you need to search for things with meaning in your life, because those are the types of thoughts that you're going to have.
You are what you eat.
I was about to say that too.
Your brain is what you feed it. Your life is therefore what you think about the most. Everybody knows this. It's a truth. So then why do you fill your life up with meaningless garbage? That's my question. Why? Because if you want to live a meaningful life, why do you feed yourself meaningless garbage? It's just like if you wanted to get fit, you wouldn't eat McDonald's every single day. You'd eat a good steak or a good amount of vegetables or rice or whatever you need to hit your macros for the day. So why are you not doing the same thing for your brain? Everybody's talking about looks maxing. What about brain maxing, huh? Start brain maxing, ladies and gentlemen. Stop the brain rot. Bring it back.
Yeah.
You know, the funny thing is wow, this is terrible. I'm talking about brain rot and how we need to make it stop, but I'm quoting a reel for this point. But I saw a video, and it was from one of those accounts. No, it wasn't Brain. Oh, it's another account called Get Off IG Daily. So they post a video every single day where it's like, remember, guys, life is short. Make sure to spend as much of your time scrolling on Instagram as possible. And it just plays like this eerie, like spooky music in the background. So it gives you like this kind of chill feeling, like, I don't like that. You get off Instagram. But one of the videos they posted was a picture of like a normal brain. Then after, it was just a brain completely desecrated. And it was just captioned, my brain before Instagram, my brain after Instagram. And it's true, because it's essentially just pouring a bunch of acid into your brain that is slowly corroding away at your thoughts. So, just some food for thought.
Yeah.
But who am I to judge? If you want to sit there and waste your entire life, that's on you, buddy.
Yeah.
But now, ladies and gentlemen, mystery topic time. How do you deal with things you can't control?
It's great because you touched on it literally earlier in the episode. But
Oh, did I?
yeah, you said
Did I? No.
about humans, just how it's hard for us to process what we don't understand, or that we can't control, because we are so used to defying the odds. And this was one thing that I've always thought, and we've thought about it earlier. And the quote goes, if it's out of your control, what do you gain by stressing about it? If you can do something, go do it. If you can't, why worry? Because if the problem doesn't have a solution, then why are you sat here thinking about, oh man, what am I going to do? Because clearly you can't do anything, so it's okay. But if you're sat there and worried about a problem, and you're like, I mean, if I really wanted to solve it, I could do this. Clearly you know what you need to do. It's just a matter of getting up and doing it instead of stressing about it. And I think every single problem in the world can be solved by that. And I saw it's like the flow chart. It's like, do you have a problem? Yes or no? No, and then it's like, and why are you worrying? Right? Yes, it's, can you do something about it? If it's yes, then it'll be like, then go do it. Why do you have to worry? Right? And then the other one is no, then why do you have to worry? Right? So this principle is so simple, it can be expressed in a square image of a flowchart. But our human brains, for some reason, can't compute it. We can't compute the idea that things are out of our control. Oh my God. I just made a great connection.
What?
Just as I cannot command the waves to stop thrashing against the shore, King Canute, and I don't want to say he's from Vinland Saga because he's a real figure in history. I actually didn't know that until I saw...
I didn't even know that.
No, I saw I think it might have been a video about it, and then I saw no, it was a real... Oh, God.
See how far gone we are?
Yeah.
We can't even make a point without talking about an Instagram reel. That's crazy.
That is really sad. But I saw a reel and it was a picture of like a old book that said like this picture depicts Canute ordering the sea to not roll back in. And I was like, oh my God, he's a real person? He's not just from Vinland Saga?
Okay, so what did he say?
But I don't remember the exact quote, at least. I can't quote Vinland Saga word for word.
I think he said, I don't know, he said something about how he can't command the tide.
Yeah, exactly. And it's expressing the idea that things are not always within our control, that some things are just natural, that it's going to happen. And it's always hard for humans to grapple with that idea. But sometimes in your life, you have to understand that it happens because it was supposed to happen. That sometimes good things gotta go. You can't you can't hold on to things forever and expect that to be the final destination, right? It's gonna go. It's gonna come and go. But there's really sometimes nothing you can do about it. It's a sad reality, but it's a true reality.
Yeah. And it's something I've had to grapple with a lot because I realized that this was my biggest problem with the slump. I was so upset about things that I couldn't control. But you know why I was upset about those things? Because I was doing nothing about the things I could control. I couldn't control how the people around me were acting, but I could control how I was acting. I could control whether I decided to edit a video. I could control whether I wanted to work out today. I could control if I was going to meditate. I couldn't control whether I was sick or whether my wrist was broken or all the other things that stopped me from being who I wanted to be. But the things I could control, I wasn't taking action on. And that's why I got so frustrated on the things I couldn't. Because funny enough, I think it's a way that your brain tries to cheat its way out of the fact that it's responsible for the situation you're in. You have to take ownership for the things that you can do, and for the things you can't, you got to let it go. But you got to understand that your current situation is likely a byproduct of the things that you're not doing well enough. So instead of leaving it up to chance and things that you have no control over, why not adjust the sails instead of waiting for the winds to change? You find ways to change your life.
That's a great quote. I love that.
That's just the truth. You find the way to fix things. If you leave it up to chance, it won't fix itself, and you're going to sit here wondering, why does God hate me?
Yeah, oh my God, I saw this quote, and I don't know if it's exactly what it was, but it was something along the lines of, success comes from change, not chance. And it comes from you making a decision to move forward, not by, a blessing being bestowed upon you. Mm-hmm. And also to seize the opportunity when it comes. Like, for example, I saw a quote where somebody said, I prayed for the flowers, so God gave me rain. And maybe if you don't believe in God, you need to understand that opportunities come in different forms. It won't always be what you believe it to be. It's just something masked in something you need to find. It's the same way if you pray for riches and somebody drops a treasure chest in front of you, you're going to have the ability to put the two dots together and be like, okay, I could find money in here, or I could find the riches I want. So when an opportunity is placed in front of you, you should seize it. And you can't seize it if you're stuck inside all day scrolling, right? It's a true reality, is you need to go out there to reach the opportunities. You're going to say something?
He said, no, you talked about it. It was about how luck is something, but you'll never miss a lucky day if you show up every day or something.
Yeah, it's that, oh man. The thing about life is that sometimes people get lucky, and you can never miss a lucky day if you try every day.
Yes, that's what it was. Thank you. That's what I was looking for. But yeah, that's like the biggest thing is to show up every day, man. Show up every day and do what you can. Because like I said, we often find ourselves stressing about things that have nothing to do with us. Like, oh, is this person going to call me back? Does this person really love me? Relationships are one of the biggest places where we see this because you're so worried about what the other person is doing that you don't even think about what you're doing. Oftentimes we find flaws with our partner, mistakes they make, or things they do that really tick you off. We literally have the word, the ick. People take that word and shove it on every single person they see saying, you give me the ick for this, you give me the ick for this, you're not good for me, you're not good for me, you're not good for me. What about you? Take a look in the mirror, because clearly nobody else is picking you either. That's why you're out here pointing fingers. So maybe if you look at yourself, change the things you can change, you'll find the person that matters to you and that really appreciates you. Because the biggest thing in a relationship, what do you think the most valuable quality in a relationship is?
We'll say loyalty or love.
Loyalty, trust. I'd say the same thing.
Yeah.
Trust is what I would say.
Okay.
Your ability to trust your partner directly correlates with how long your relationship lasts. Because if you have like 100% faith that they'll never do you wrong, then you're good.
Mm-hmm.
But also, if you are consistently wondering, are they cheating on me? Are they cheating on me? Are they going to leave me? Are they going to leave me? Then you're just in this weird state of worry about them leaving. And then you do stupid things that cause the relationship to end anyways. But if you put your faith in them, it'll work out. And if it doesn't, let's say they do stab you in the back. They're a bad person. Like they did something wrong. They completely ruined your relationship with them. Then what? Because now you couldn't have controlled that. You couldn't have stopped them from doing what they did. So instead of beating yourself up about it, pick it up where it is. You know, things happen. Relationships fall apart. That's okay. You go out there and you become a better person so that when the right person comes around, you'll be the better person. Maybe your dream girl would have walked into your life earlier and you wouldn't have been able to take care of her the way that you can after a heartbreak, after having experience and learning something. So understand that things that are in your control, you need to work on. And things that are out of your control, everybody else around you, don't worry about that. Because it's realistically just the internal system that matters. The environment, the external, it's not so important. It's what you do with inside.
You know what's interesting is I saw this because one thing, and this is going to be this is a great topic that a lot of people discuss, is the idea of environments and how environments affect who you are. And how some people believe, oh, we don't have free will because we're so heavily influenced by the environment around us. I saw this clip from Cliff Netchell. And what he said is, he talked about alcoholics. And he said, suppose that my father was an alcoholic. I can use that to justify me being an alcoholic, saying I was just following in his footsteps. But if I have 5 other siblings, all of them are not alcoholics, and you ask them, why are you guys not alcoholics? They would say, because my dad was an alcoholic. So both of us have the same reason for doing the opposite things. Do not let the environment dictate who you are going to be. Because yes, it has an effect on you. It does. But in the end, you choose what to do with that effect, right? It's like if you're put in boiling water, if you're an egg, you become hard. If you're a pasta, you become soft, right? So whatever you choose to, or however you choose to let the environment affect you is how you're going to turn out. So in the end, it really is up to you. And we often find ourselves so concerned with everybody else's image of us. And I saw this quote that really hit me and it made me feel really glad about who I am because it said, no one can make you inferior without your consent. The only reason you feel the way you do about yourself because someone else thinks it is because of you. In the end, it's up to you. Because think about it. Even if somebody else, like if somebody walked up to me and said, you know, you suck at, let's say, hockey, but I consider myself to be a decent player, I wouldn't sit here and be like, damn, oh my God, I suck at hockey. I'm the worst. This is terrible. I'd be like, you know what, man? Maybe that guy doesn't think I'm good, but I think I'm fine. So why does it matter? If somebody tells me something that I don't believe to be true, then why would it matter? About me. We're so involved with what other people think of us when we know ourselves the best.
Yeah, why are you taking opinions from people who don't even know you?
Exactly. It's like, why would a professional car mechanic take advice on how to fix his car from a zookeeper? Right? It doesn't make sense. There's no correlation there. There's no point. You're getting advice from other people about who you should be. Who of all people would know best aside from you? No one. You know the best way to live your life, but you let other people dictate it.
Yeah.
And it's because you aren't satisfied. You know, you don't see yourself in the right light. So you're looking for other people's approval. And when disapproval strikes, you just take it because you're not sure of who you need to be. So you need to find the way to get that level-headedness, that clear-mindedness, that clear vision of yourself so that other people's opinions aren't what dictate who you are.
There we go. That was beautiful. That was probably one of the greatest analogies I've ever seen in my entire life. So to recap, ladies and gentlemen, remember, don't overcomplicate your life, okay? Things are simple. You just take it one day at a time. You be happy. Build that house brick by brick. 2, be mindful and live in the moment, because this moment is all you really have. The past, it's not real. And the future isn't either. And neither of those things are really promised for you for the rest of your life. So focus on what you have right now. And lastly, for the things that are in your control, do everything you can about them. And the things that aren't, stop stressing about them, because stressing is not fixing it or making the problem go away. So do what you can about the things you can do things about. A very, very jumbled sentence there.
Yeah.
But point is, do what you can.
But before you guys go, you already know that it's time for quote
Of
the
week.
hit 'em.
Quote of the week. People try to control the views of others because they don't have control over themselves. Do you know who said that?
Can I get a hint?
Do you want like a very obvious hint that'll give it away immediately?
No. Is this
Very
guess-
big on YouTube
Okay.
and Spotify, I guess.
Spotify.
Yes.
So they're either a podcaster or they're a music artist.
Okay, take a guess.
He's also a YouTuber.
Well, take a guess.
Oh, man. Okay, never mind. I need another hint.
Man, just take a guess off the first one you were guessing. You were on the right track with the first.
Podcaster?
Okay, go.
Okay.
There's only one answer. Why is it taking you so long?
Why? This is so hard. I don't know. Joe Rogan?
Literally, yes.
Oh.
Who else? Name
Yeah.
one other podcaster. And Jumper's Jump doesn't count.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
Yeah.
All right, you know. Me?
Get cooked. Get cooked.
Me?
No, you don't count either.
Oh.
Because we're on our podcast. That's podcastception right there.
That
You can't
is.
talk about like us as a third party. You know what I mean?
You're right.
There we go.
All right, but
Point is, Joe Rogan said that, and I thought it was really beautiful because you'll see people consistently policing how other people live their lives, but in reality, they're just not in control of themselves. And I'm not saying I'm not guilty of this, because I 100% am. Ask this guy.
Yep.
I'm consistently telling him, get off the phone, get off the phone, get off the phone. And in reality, my life is not so good behind closed doors either. Like, I'll be on my phone sometimes. I'll waste time for sure and make mistakes along the way. But you find people who say the most are the ones that aren't doing anything. So don't be that person, and do your best to work on yourself.
you know
It's
what they
really all you
always
can do.
say? Fish with the open mouth is one that gets caught.
Damn, okay.
Did you not know that quote?
I did, but I kind of forgot about it.
But
Like
yeah,
that was a really good one.
Hey, you gotta be, a little bit,
Tight-lipped.
yeah, and work on yourself as opposed to, yapping to everybody else.
Yeah.
That's how you get caught,
There you go.
But anyway, thank you guys so much for sticking around to the end of the episode. You look like you have a very big thought.
Ladies and gentlemen, I can't believe I didn't bring this up earlier. Thank you so
Oh,
much.
I already know.
We just hit 200 subscribers, baby.
Yo, we did the exact same hand gesture too. That was kind of crazy. But yeah. Oh my God, I saw that. I saw the 201 and I was so happy.
Thank you guys so much. Seriously, I don't think you understand how much this means. When we started this, we had no idea if this was going to really work out. And I never would have imagined that on episode, 24, we'd already have 200 people that want to listen to us every single week. We really appreciate it. And as always, we thank you for the support, because it's one of the biggest motivating factors to keep us going on this. We know growth is slow. We didn't expect things to blow up instantly. But 200 people already, we love each and every one of you guys. And we hope that we make your week a little bit better. So I hope you learned something today. And as always, thank you so much for the support. We love you guys.
But yeah, genuinely from the bottom of my heart, 200 people, that is just so crazy to me to even think about. But thank you guys so much for sticking around to the very end of the episode. It really means more than you guys can imagine. Make sure to go and check out any other episodes if you missed any of them. And as always, make sure that you go out there, make your life simple, because it truly is. And make sure that you live a positive life, y'all. Peace out.